So you don't have an issue?
We have a view. We always have a view.
You have a view?
We have a view.
So do you think that building, do you think the DFO outlet at Essendon, at the end of the runway, in the proximity of the end of the runway, would that meet your criteria for fulfilling CAS's views as fulfilling safety criteria for having a building of that size, of that height, in that proximity to the runway?
Currently, my understanding is it would, Senator, and there was a building there prior to the DFO building. So prior to the DFO building process in, I think, 2004 or thereabouts, there were buildings there that preceded that on that same location.
So you're quite comfortable, if there was going to be another airport plan, you wouldn't have an issue with a building of that proximity to the runway?
On that runway, in that location, I understand it fits within the template. Mr. Tiede would be able to correct me if I'm incorrect.
So,
Senator, would
you set the template? Is that your template?
The CAS's interest is in the safety of air navigation piece of this. There are obstacle limitation surfaces in very broad description around an airport, starting from the runway out to 15 kilometres, like an upside-down wedding cake. The takeoff climb surface extends off the runway in a straight ahead thing for 15 kilometres, climbing at a slope that's dependent on the specification of the runway, and so this in significant part overlies the public safety zone third-party protection apparatus that's talked about. The DFO complex fits under the obstacle limitation surfaces, and so it meets the regulatory...
So do those obstacle limitation surfaces need to be reviewed in light of the DFO accident?
The obstacle limitation surfaces are drawn from some quite detailed ICAO specifications, International Civil Aviation Organisation specifications that are very detailed, very long-standing. We model ours regulations on that information. ICAO is in a process of reviewing the OLS, and the issue with that, of course, is that any outcomes are sometime downstream. CASA participates in that work of ICAO as a member of the working group that's looking at this.
But you're not bound by ICAO. You're saying you are bound by ICAO in terms of recommendations for buildings in the proximity of airports.
These are standards of ICAO, and yes, we have incorporated into our laws, and we follow the ICAO specifications in their Annex 14, their aerodromes annex. We transfer.
We routinely follow their standards and recommended practices, Senator, unless we notify a difference. In this particular case too, with Essendon, if I might add, part of this discussion would depend upon the results of the investigation at the end of the day.